In Austin today, Governor Greg Abbott spent some time getting updates from hospital CEOs and representatives from all around Texas about the hospital's ability to care for potentially large numbers of COVID-19 patients.
Our Taylor Alanis joins us now with more on how the state is providing the hospitals a helping hand. Taylor?
Joe, Leslie, in that conference call, Governor Abbott announcing a temporary waiver for hospitals to increase unused bed capacity without the normal applications and fees. The governor also talked about supplies, staffing, and bed capacities at hospitals, along with a survey on capacity needs for hospital networks so state agencies can determine where resources are needed. Abbott saying the temporary waiver to increase bed capacity is a precautionary measure to make sure facilities across Texas can treat enough patients. As of right now, there are at least 110 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Texas and 1 death. The largest amount of cases in the metropolitan areas like Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Again, none here. Abbott says FEMA will give an additional 15,000 kits that will be distributed throughout the state to public and private entities that will test for COVID-19. And by Friday, the state estimates that Texas will be able to perform 10,000 COVID-19 tests per week. Joe, Leslie.
All right, Taylor, thank you.